Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We'll carry out another review of various important activities that took place in India and around, which has an effect on India's national security. Firstly, we will take some news which is important, but very briefly. India continues to carry out joint military exercises with Malaysia and Southeast Asian countries. We also held a defense dialogue with France to increase our cooperation, especially the defense cooperation, which will include bilateral military exercises, many other issues like sharing intelligence, defense and industrial cooperation, etc. The next issue pertains to the National Security Advisor, Shri Ajit Doval, in which the ulemas of Indonesia had come to India and they interacted with variety of themes encompassing religious, cultural issues. And in this, Shri Ajit Doval said that the role of ulemas in fostering culture of interfaith peace and social harmony in India and Indonesia is very important. The next issue is that the naval chief Shri Admiral Hari Kumar has said that integration trials of aircraft with INS Vikrant is on, and it is expected that by May and June it will be successful. He was addressing the media in the NDA passing out parade. The next issue pertains to the Indian Coast Guard, who have got another advanced light helicopter Mark III squadron, which has been commissioned in Chennai. And this is an important development because it helps you to keep a watch on your exclusive economic zone. Next issue pertains to the CRPF. Five CRPF Cobra commandos were injured in an encounter with the Maoists in the Jharkhand's West Singhum district. A massive anti-Naxal operation is going on in this area. The next issue pertains to the internal security, in which it has been brought out by the DG of BSF, Border Security Force, that this year in 2022, 268 drones have come across the border from Pakistan delivering narcotics in Punjab, which is a very serious issue. Out of this, about 8 drones were shot, but others managed to get inside. So this tells you as to what is the seriousness of narco terrorism which Pakistan has launched against India, especially in the state of, excuse me please, in the state of Punjab. Today it is said that the drug addicts in Punjab has reached an alarming figure. Almost 50% of youth are supposed to be drug addicts. Let's hope we can stop this. The BSF has got some jammers which can jam the drones which are carrying narcotics. They also got another 100 drones. They have also got handheld thermal imagers, etc., so that they can detect the movement of terrorists and also the drones in the foggy climate. Now we have to utilize all the power that is available to us to tackle the drone. We could use the Army Air Defense of the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, the DRDO, etc. The next issue pertains to the economic security. While India continues to be the fastest growing economy in the world, its GDP has expanded by 6.3%. It is lesser than the expected figures, but definitely fastest in the world. Now, what is more important here is that today we want to reduce our dependence on China, but instead of reduction, the difference between imports and exports with China has increased to $75 billion, which is bad. The greedy corporate world, the greedy traders continue to be dependent on the cheap Chinese goods. There is a need to take strict action against them. The next issue pertains to the remittances. I'm sure everybody knows that Indians who go abroad earn a lot of money there for their labor and the job that they do. That money they send it back home to their families. And in 2022, $100 billion are being sent by Indians who are working abroad. This is a very nice figure, and this ensures that the family at home are looked after. The remittances are a vital source of household income as they alleviate poverty, improve nutritional needs, and also ensure that the increased birth weight, higher school of enrollment, etc. So therefore, the remittances are important, and the Indians going abroad are doing a good job. The next issue pertains to the Sensex, which is for last 8 days recording newer heights, and this is when the other stock exchanges are going down. Why is it happening? Just to give us very brief analysis, earlier the foreign portfolio investors used to have lot of influence on the Indian equities. In last 20 months, 22 billions of money has been by taken away by the FPIs out of the Indian markets. But the our stock exchange did not go down because the Indian household are now pumping money into mutual fund. The saving rate, which was slightly less, now has increased. So therefore, now this is a very good news because in the financial market, as far as the corporate world is concerned, the finances used to come a lot from the banks. Now they will come from the equity. So this ensures that our economy becomes more and more efficient. We need to complement our middle class that they are investing money via the mutual fund route, via the systematic investment plans into the Indian equities. The next issue is a cyber attack that was launched on the All India Institute of Medical Sciences on November 23rd. But even as it stands now, the AIIMS is still grappling with the damage that has been caused to their cyber records. This is a very serious thing simply because almost lakhs of patients visit the AIMS every day. Their records are all kept digitally, and if suddenly these records disappear, then there's going to be a very serious problem. Of course, they are taking expert help from the DRDO, etc. But what is important is this must have been done by the Chinese or the hackers who are with the Pakistanis. We have to improve our cyber defenses, and not only that, if they attack our AIMS, then we need to have the capability to attack equivalent establishments of Chinese and Pakistanis. Counter cyber surgical strike is the order of the day. The next issue pertains to good governance. There has been a standoff between the Supreme Court and the central government on the collegium system versus the National Judicial Advisory Commission. The Supreme Court wants collegium to be the system. This is just not done. Collegium is a very poor system where individual biases of judges affect who gets selected and who get dropped. The system is very opaque. The system is not followed anywhere in the world. While NGAC is a much better solution, however, there are certain fears Supreme Court has uh, uh, expressed with regard to the executive primacy. So I think there's a need for a bit of a solution which is more neutral. So therefore, the Indian democracy, along with the Supreme Court, could get together and work out a solution which is acceptable to all because it affects common man and his right for getting judicial verdict. The next issue pertains to external security. Pakistan has been complaining to Afghanistan that Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan is continuing to attack Pakistan, and the Afghanistan Taliban is doing nothing about it. The next issue pertains to the money-making generals of the Pakistani army who are in the business of multiplying personal wealth. The acquisition of wealth through allotment of residential plots in plush cantonment townships has been a long-term pastime of the Pakistani army. The officers are busy making so much of money that securing the country has become their secondary task. Generals Pervez Musharraf, Ashraf Kayani, who were the army chiefs, spent several years of their life abroad, living luxuriously immediately after they retired. General Rahil Sharif, who was the chief who ruled without a coup, spent long time in Saudi Arabia, commanding a non-existent 41-member Islamic military force. There are reports that the last chief who retired, General Bajwa, he's got so much of money that General's wife Aisha became a multi-billionaire with large farmhouses in various parts of Pakistan. Not only that, members of Bajwa's immediate and extended family started international businesses, shifted capital abroad, and have brought foreign properties. In this process, a young woman from Lahore became a billionaire 9 days prior to becoming the daughter-in-law of Chief of Army Staff. However, what General Bajwa has done is nothing special. This is exactly what all the Pakistani army officers do. Pakistan is today facing an increasing threat from Baluch nationalist groups. It is facing a threat from Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, which represent Pashtun nationalist sentiments. So they should focus on that. But instead of focusing on the internal security of Pakistan, the generals are busy making money. As was to be expected, Pakistani army has rejected the claims about General Bajwa and the family assets that have been created. Uh, Here, another important issue is that General Bajwa, while retiring, has said that the 1971 war was lost not by the Pakistani army, but it was lost by the political establishments. Immediately, the present foreign minister of Pakistan, Bilawal Bhutto, who is a grandson of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who signed Simla agreement with India, has said no. The defeat was because of the Pakistani army. The next issue pertains to countering the Chinese multi-domain war. It is expected that China is going to have 1,500 nuclear warheads by 2035. The USA in its report has said that China is continuing to build infrastructure work on the borders. China is looking for a place for the PLA strategic support forces in Pakistan. It is looking for some bases overseas also. So China is basically militarizing the Indian borders. South Korea had to scramble its jets after the Chinese warplanes entered its airspace. Japan has told China and Russia that should they enter Japanese airspace, it will be considered as very serious. And the last news pertains to China that today protests are continuing in China against various restrictions which has been imposed by China with respect to their zero corona or COVID or Chinese virus policy, in which they have gone for shutdown everywhere. And the crackdown has been very brutal. The Chinese have used technology, the Chinese have used police, Chinese have arrested people, and have they been able to crush this uprising almost completely. But the fact remains that this was one of the biggest uprisings during the recent times. So, therefore, while China today is still going in for what is called as complete lockdown, the whole world has moved on, and it is becoming problems for its people. So therefore, the people are very, very unhappy, and this is one of the biggest challenges that China faces today. So these were the various events that took place with an analysis of what effect it has on India. But rest be assured that we are protecting ourselves against the unrestricted war by China and by Pakistan in a much better fashion. But of course, we still have to improve our cyber defenses. We still have to improve our offensive capability as far as the cyber attacks is concerned. I'll stop here. Jai Hind.